Hello. I've spoken before about this, but it is so important that I decided to say it again. It's about the most important trauma, the biggest trauma, the one that goes through every human being. No one escapes this trauma. No one. Depending on each personality, people may wield on the top of that trauma, or they may not pay much attention and uh, they don't let that influence their lives or their behaviors. It's the trauma of rejection and abandonment. And why is it so important? Why does it exist in every human being? It's very easy to understand. When a baby is born, feels abandoned and rejected by his mom. When the mother stops breastfeeding, the baby feels abandoned or rejected. When uh, the child is dropped at school for the first time, and sometimes for a few more times, feels abandoned by his mom, by his parents, and many other situations where a child may feel abandoned. So it's understandable that it creates a lack, it creates some pain. And as I said, depending on the child personality, if it's an independent child, it may not affect that much. But if it's a child that is very connected and very attached to the parents, it may cause a big wound. So, and then when people go through life, other things happen that may build that. At some point, if you have the understanding of what is going on, you may step out of that pattern. But for some people, it is very easy to grow that trauma, to grow that pain. For some people, for example, if some friends go out for dinner or for a party and they don't invite this person may feel rejected, which can be really absurd. But from the point of view of that person, it's unfair, and sometimes the person feels, oh, they don't like me anymore, or they are rejecting me. Why is this? Why is that? And starts that conversation that is not very healthy with themselves. Um, if you are in a relationship and the other person decides it's not good for her or for him, and decides to end the relationship, the other part may feel rejected and abandoned. But sometimes it's not about the person. The other is not going away because this person is not good. The other is going away because he has or she has other perspectives for life, because she found someone that was more appealing or nicer or whatever. It's their choice to go, not to stay. So it's not really about the person who stays. It's not that the person who stays is not a good person, it's not a nice person. It's just not the right person for that one who's leaving. But some people don't understand that because they are very insecure, because they have that trauma in a high dimension. It's a big trauma. Trauma causes a lot of problems. These people react to this situation of the other leaving them in a very painful way. And they may find another partner. And if that happens again, it builds up the trauma even more. And what usually happens is that it repeats and repeats and repeats until the person understands that is a pattern, it's a repetition. Why is this happening? So either this is happening because in somehow I'm causing that, and I will explain in a moment how that can happen, or it is happening in order to make you understand that you are suffering not because of the other person's action, but because there is something not in balance in you. I'm not going to say something wrong, because it's all part of the process of evolution. So it's not wrong. It just has to be that way for you to evolve, to change, to heal. It also happens that when you have a trauma, in a unconscious or subconscious way, you may cause situations because for the other to leave, because you don't believe in that love, because you don't believe you deserve to be loved. Either way, it's a process that happens for you to learn and to step out of that pattern. It is very important to understand that to be happy, you have to get rid of the trauma. You have to drop it. You have to understand that this is not me. This is my trauma. I don't want this to affect my life the way it's affecting. I don't want to suffer any longer. And if I don't want to suffer, I have to solve this. It's not the other person that's gonna solve my problem. It's not but because the other person decides to stay that I'm gonna get rid of the trauma. Just me. I'm the only person that can work on it, that can understand what's going on and drop the trauma in order to be happy and to react in a more healthy way to whatever situation I face. trauma of rejection and abandonment, the biggest trauma in the world, the one that goes through every human being. Don't you think that you escape from it? You may have a tiny little bit. You may have a huge portion of it. But you always have it. Get rid of it, and your life will be much easier. When you watch other people living, if they don't want to stay, if they don't want to invite you, if they don't pay attention, enough attention according to your desire, enough attention to you, it doesn't matter. If you are happy inside yourself, if you are centered, if you are grounded, if you have high energy, those things will not affect you. And the only way is to get rid of the insecurities, of the traumas, of the attachments, of the beliefs, of everything that doesn't belong to you. Because you are a happy, balanced human being. You just are not when you have all those things attached. Get rid of the attachment, get rid of the trauma, and be happy.